122 to 107, the Sacramento Kings win a big time game tonight. And I say that because they're going on a huge road trip for about 2 weeks. And they were on the 4 game losing streak, arguably the worst 4 game losing streak in terms of how they lost these games to me in the last 20 years. You blow 3 free throws against the Bucks, and you lose to Dame, Dalla, Lillard at the buzzer beater, right? And you blow a 22-point lead, 32-8 run in Phoenix against KD, Booker, and Beal. Then you lose to the Pacers without Siakam and without Halliburton. And the first one was against the Sixers without Embiid. Talk about a disappointing 4 games. To me, the worst one ever in the last 20 years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So they came into tonight knowing that Trae Young would not play. They tend to overestimate teams. Tonight, they took care of business the way good teams should. 122 to 107. Huge shout out to Medici, Sacramento, Butcher, and Barrow, literally right across the Golden One Center. Great spots to go before and after every Kings game. Make sure you tell them the Cowbell Kingdom sent you guys, man. Best pizza in town, the hottest new steakhouse in town. You guys will love it. Shout out to them. HB tonight had a massive game. Massive. He ended, well, I don't want to say that. He might end his Kings tenure with a bang, okay? Now, will he get traded before the deadline? That's the real question. I believe he will. And if he does within the next few days or the next week and a half, what a way to end his tenure at Golden One Center with a big-time performance. I mean, big-time performance. 32 points, 4 rebounds, 4 of 8, 50% from beyond the arc. That's big time. Also, to the right or left of me, I don't know how you guys view it, but we got a live view at the court. That way you guys kind of see what is going on. I think we got a live look at he's the Kings. Let me see. I can't really tell. What was that? I think the laptop is blocking it down there, but yeah, Keon Ellis is taking some pictures, maybe with the Hawks player. I'm not entirely sure, but they're having some fun, joking around. He did not play tonight. Davion Mitchell, which we'll get to it. 22 minutes tonight, man. 0-2 from beyond the arc. Both of his shots were just bonkers, big-time bricks, but he played excellent defense. He was a nice little spark plug for the Kings tonight, and you gotta love that. You gotta love that, man. He's showcasing himself, which is a good thing, right? All the players that you needed to showcase played okay today, man. Kevin didn't have a great game. He had a good game. I mean, 3 of 6 from the field, 50%, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc, 8 points. Harrison Barnes was the game changer of the game, man. He was the player of the game for me. That's why I put that on Instagram. 10 of 20 from the field, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc, 8 of 8. A perfect game from the free throw line, which we haven't seen in a long time. That's excellent. That's excellent, y'all. So good stuff from HB there. +9 for the game, 32 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. You got to put that in there. Don't forget about that. But I love it, man. I love it. How's everybody doing? Kings fan Sneak, what's up, bro? About damn time we needed the big time win. Yes, sir. DJ Bad Boy 916. Are we getting Capella and Hunter? I hope we don't get Capella. And I was telling Mark Haynes, who sits next to me, that would be an awful pairing, just on the fact that both Sabonis and Capella can't shoot. Sabonis is capable of doing it sometimes, but he's not, quote unquote, a shooter. He's not a guy who's going to spread the floor for. He doesn't want to take those shots like that. The paint would be very clogged up. We got Onyekwo. Let me see if y'all can see. So we got Peja Stojakovic, Coach Alvin Gentry, and Onyekwo talking. Okay. I like that. Look at that. I like that. I like that. Here comes Mark Haynes, by the way. Um, yeah, man. I like that. Why are you talking to Tanya? Because they're probably good friends. Is that Alvin Gentry? I might be tripping, bro. I don't even know if that's Alvin Gentry. I don't think it's Alvin Gentry. My bad. I'm so blind, y'all. That's Pages, though. That's Pages the Oculus for sure. Um, I don't know who that guy is, but it's Iñeco. Interesting. Interesting to say the least. What's up, Josh? I don't want to trade Kev. Absolutely, you got to trade Cam. Talking about the devil, man. I was just talking about that, man. Chris Haynes, man. Chris Haynes. I was telling Chris that people were talking about Capella, and I'm like, I don't think it'd be a good pairing. I think you agree in the fact that yes, he's a body, which is good. He can rebound at a high level, block shots, but shooting wise, the way the Kings play, he wouldn't be the best option for the Kings. Like if that was the case, why won't they play McGee and Sabonis or Alex Len to try that out? That's not in their intentions.
Right.
I don't see it because you have to give up an asset to go get Capella. That's not what you need. You need a wing, right? So that's where I'm at with that. How you feeling though?
Couldn't say it any better.
Let me see. I'm gonna get you on here real fast. I'll put the mic on you real quick. What was your biggest takeaway from tonight?
They made free throws. Free
That's
throws.
true.
That was a big deal. If they shot the ball from the free throw line the way they've been shooting it,
Right.
it would have been a close game. And as we see this year, close games lately, especially, haven't been good for the Kings. So that was the last thing they needed going on a long road trip.
Very long. I know you were at the press conference right now. Was there anything that Kings fans should watch out for in terms of anything that the coach said or any of the players that stood out to you?
Well, obviously they talked about Harrison Barnes and the game he had and how the days off probably helped him. It helped him rest and get his mind right for the for tonight's game. And Davion Mitchell came up. Davion Mitchell, he won the Defensive Player of the game. Mike Brown said he thought that his on-ball pressure was it really slowed down what Atlanta was doing. So, those two guys probably were the heroes that really saved this game. And with the big three of, Keegan, Fox, and Sabonis all struggling really, and outside of, Sabonis getting his 20 rebounds, which he go do regardless.
Right.
But as far as shooting, they shot like 14 of like 38 or something like that, which is not typical for them. But
It's crazy. HB shot a perfect 8 of 8.
Crazy. Crazy. What is they 24, 27 as a team, and they feeling good, which it was the Atlanta Hawks with a short-handed team, but a win's is a win. And after a 4-game losing streak and the way they've been losing, this is exactly what they needed before they hit the road.
Harrison Barnes again, just to reiterate, perfect game almost. The headline of this video or this stream is, will this be his last game at Golden One Center? What is your prediction?
Well, I'm gonna start my campaign for Harrison Barnes. I know you don't want to hear, but and some fans probably don't want to hear it as well. But I think Harrison Barnes is gonna be here to stay, and I think we gonna have more nights like this for Mr. Harrison Barnes, 40 as they call him.
That is crazy. The Mark Haynes narrative. The Mark Haynes narrative. A question for you, Mark. What's up with Fox? His body language has been terrible. Is he in his feelings again, or is he injured?
Well, I mean, it's midway through the season. He's a high usage player. Of course, he's probably banged up to an extent. I don't think I'm not bringing that up as an excuse, and I don't think he would use it as an excuse either. But it is what it is, and fact of the matter is he's not playing at the elite level that he was playing at, and we got to remember that was like all-time elite. Like he's averaging
30.
30, shooting 50-something%. It was crazy. So it's the same as the team. Like, the 4-game losing streak, a lot of people started to panic and stuff. But then when you look at the realization of it, they had the same record as last year at this point. So it's not really, it's obviously you want to see all the guys at their best, but you're not going to get that, and he'll be all right.
I think for me, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis having better years than last year, but then the others, right? The HBs of the world, the Kevin Herters, the Keegans even, have been so up and down and mostly down this season, which is the reason why the record hasn't improved. To your point, it's very similar to last year's at this point. And before this 4-game losing streak, it was a lot better than last year, right? And you go through this little skid, and the morals are down, fans are down, they're questioning what is happening. Leo, Mark, why the hell are they losing? Like those types of comments. And then you realize today that if the others do play well, even when you don't have a super strong game from a Fox or a great game from Sabonis, that you can win these games. And these are the types of games that they've been losing all season. And it's not that they've lost, it's how they've lost games, right? They've gone blown out. They've been terrible on back-to-backs. They have one win on back-to-backs. Teams like the Celtics have been exceptional, but most teams I would say have been bad on back-to-backs. And the Celtics are more of an outlier team. And obviously the Kings aren't at that level. No one's at that Celtics level.
Right.
The only team that can maybe reach there is the Nuggets, which they proved it. They went into Boston on Friday, and they beat them, and that was their first loss of the season. So that's interesting there. But that's the team that I believe every team in the Western Conference is chasing. Would you agree with?
Yeah, I said that when all the moves were made, the Phoenix moves and Lakers, all the different moves that was made, I still felt like Denver was the team to beat in the West,
Right.
and they're just, they just they're really that good. They're really that good, and when you look at them,
When they're healthy.
when they're healthy, exactly. They lost some pieces last year, and people thought, this is a different team, but you still have the Joker, you still have Jamal Murray, Michael Porter. Like it's a system. It's a system with arguably the best player in the NBA in that system, and that's going to be hard to overcome for anybody in the league.
Now, is there a specific name or maybe 3 names that you would like the Kings to go after? And do you think that it's realistic that these names end up in Sacramento at the deadline?
I gotta think about that more. I can't say that I have 3. I think it's so tough. I don't think there's a big name out there that's possible
Is
to
Jeremy
get.
Grant a big name too? Does that fall under a big name for you?
Not quite, but he's right there. Like, not as far as big name, but
Right.
he's right there in
Not
that
an
range
all-star,
of
but-
like hard for the Kings to
Yeah.
get. And if they were able to get him, I think that'd be a tremendous grab, and like that'd be huge. Actually, it'd be an amazing fit. But I think they're gonna have to look at some guys like that's a 3-and-D guy, or somebody that's not maybe not getting minutes somewhere, but a wing. I think a long wing defender is something this team could use, and obviously you have to be able to knock down a 3. But I can't. I have to think about who exactly. But the way the roster is, and the guys that the Kings would have to give up, is gonna be real tough.
Now, if you had an option between Kyle Kuzma and Jeremy Grant, who would you go with? Knowing that Kuzma makes about 23 and Jeremy 23 going down with his contract, and then Jeremy 29 going up all the way up to 36. So understanding those numbers value-wise and player-wise, who would you rather have for the next 2 to 3 seasons?
I guess Kuzma would be the safer pick.
You think so?
You said his contract going lower.
Mm-hmm.
Money-wise, I would say Kuzma. I think they're 2 similar players. Honestly, that's the only reason. So I would say the smaller contract, but they're very similar as far as like their output. I don't know who I would say has a better IQ, because that is one thing, like we talked about before. I
Low
think
IQ team.
Yeah, this is a low IQ team. No disrespect to any of the players, because they have a ton of talent. But when you look at championship caliber teams, it's always that, one or two guys that are just on the team because they're smart.
Yep.
And that might even be something to look for.
Like a Caruso, right?
Yeah, exactly. Caruso, somebody go make smart plays.
Bruce
hustle
Brown,
plays,
maybe.
hustle plays. Just do their job and know kind of how to, get the most out of their team. Not, and it's not in the sense of like, oh, you're a point guard or anything like that,
Right.
but it's just certain moments where like
Making
you see
timely cuts, setting back picks. I mean, all the little things that
keeping
smart
up
players
morale
do.
and body language and stuff, as the guy said earlier or whatever about Fox body language or whatever. So it's I think it's a small change that maybe could be made, and that might be what the Kings do. Who knows?
So David Martinez says, all I ask for is if the team are playing us in the zone, how Sabonis is doing DHOs but disrespecting his midi. I want him to shoot like Steve Webb used to. Obviously, you and me have talked about Sabonis not being that guy in terms of looking for his own. He's a connector. He's a guy that tries to get everybody else involved, right? Do you think that'll ever come out of him where he just says, I'm putting my head down. I know I'm extremely physical. I'm limited, but I know that my best move going left and bumping you is enough to get a bucket. Like, we've seen him go for 37 points, right? Like, he's capable of doing it. Do you ever see him being that consistent number 2 scorer on this team?
Consistently, no, because he's so. The team relies on him as like a point guard, basically, and I
He's
think
wired differently.
Yeah, and he's fully accepted that. Like, he is the .5,
Right.
and he's looking to pass the ball like immediately. I would like to see him shoot the ball more, like especially with the mid range and the wide open threes that he's doing DHOs from the top of the three, and I would like to see him be a little more aggressive, but I just don't think that's what we're going to get. Especially end of the day, like we can we want Chris Webber, but we're not going to get that.
Right.
And the Kings are a good team, and it's everybody, we all want perfection, but this just might be what Sabonis is. He's an all-star. He's one of the best big men in the league. So, hopefully you want to say, oh, he could improve a little, which sure everybody can, but he is one of the elites of the NBA, even with those limitations.
Exactly. And again, people misconstrue when I say limited. Like, to some degree, LeBron is limited offensively. Like, he don't got no bag, but he's the number 1 scorer in NBA history. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, it doesn't mean you're not a great player. I think Halliburton's limited. He's still a great player, right? Like, the ultimate guy who has no weaknesses in his game, like a KD, scoring all levels, however he wants, whenever he wants, like those types of things. Like, that's what I consider a player who is not limited, right? Is there anyone on the roster you think should get more minutes at all, even if they don't make changes?
I think JaVale McGee. Like, okay. I really like what he does whenever he's in the game. I'm not saying more minutes as far as like playing him 20 minutes, but I don't think he should be getting many DNPs, and he gets a good chunk of them. And he's a veteran. He's a spark, and as you've seen tonight, that's basically what he did. He came in, got the dunk, the technical, got the crowd fired up, and you need that at times or whatever. And the last 4 games, it was so, the arena was just dry and boring or whatever. And I think JaVale is the guy that I think should be playing. Get a few minutes every night.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player, in no disrespect, who's a low IQ player, right? Mm-hmm. Where he makes some silly mistakes sometimes, and I'm like, bro, you don't have to block every single shot. I know it's in him to want to do that, but sometimes he he'll foul somebody on the 3-point line, and that's going to kill you, right? Like momentum-wise, just silly plays like that Mike hates, and that's why it's really up for grabs, like you said, where Len and him have had really good moments, and they've had bad moments. Some can argue that Len's had better moments this year, which, again, I don't think – me personally, I would like somebody else, like an Onyeka Okongwu who we saw tonight. But obviously that's a player who could be starting on a lot of teams. And it's just a backup here because Clint Capella still has a little bit left in the tank. But some people brought up Capella. People have linked up Bogey, DeJounte to the Kings. Do you think either of those two players, or at least DeJounte Murray, would be a good fit with the Kings?
I think it'd be interesting. Obviously, it depends on who are the Kings giving up, and
let's just say a package of that'd be funny, but Kevin Huerter going back to Atlanta and just a ton of picks, like at least 2 picks, because they gave up a lot to get him, so they're gonna want at least 2 picks. So something, 2, 3 first-round picks. He's on a long-term deal. Do you think he fits?
I mean, if you could get him for Kevin Huerter and some picks, I'm like, yes, bring DeJounte Murray. He's a guy that he does a little bit of everything. He's tiptoeing triple doubles, play defense. He's not a great shooter, but he could shoot. He could score the ball as he did. What he had, 35 or something like that tonight.
He had 35 on 7 from the free throw line. 6 of 10 from beyond the arc.
10, so I don't know what he's shooting for the year, but tonight, he was amazing. Yeah, what is it?
He is.
See if I just disrespect
38.2.
Yeah, so excuse me, and forget everything else I said, but yes, bring him if you could get Kevin Hart. If that was the hypothetical deal, yes.
What about HB, your boy, and picks?
See, that's where you kind of man, HB, his value is just. I don't know if we can give up that type of value for
without getting the wing. Like, your thing is to get a wing in return. Like you have to replace him with another wing that's better, right?
But same thing in seriousness. So like if it feels HB, I would do that too. I would do that. I wouldn't be that's a talent that. Hard to come by, and he's an all-star, all-star type player. So yeah, you pull that trigger, even if it is HB, but
does that solve, like, what would that solve though? Like if you do give up HB, because then who's your forward? You know what I mean? Like. Is it a one move? Is it a lateral move to get something else? See what I'm saying? Like,
you definitely have to do something else. Because you'll be small. Like I said, I'll do the move, but then I start looking out there to figure out somebody that could just, a bigger body that could, fill a spot. But
yeah, because like DeJounte is nice, and like again, I would like that, but if he's the only move, then you solve one problem, but then you already have a problem with the wings, and you have a massive problem with the wings. Because then, who's playing at that point?
Right.
Like, Key can only do so much, and then, you would have to. That's a small lineup.
Like, you get even smaller.
You get a lot smaller. Like if that ever happens, right? Would you be opposed to bringing back Bogey?
I'm just the type of person that I like to, keep moving, move on. Like we've been there, done that, But obviously, like he's
a good bench player.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid. You know what you're getting from him. but that's just me, and obviously I'm no GM or anything, but I like to just keep it moving.
Just keep it moving. Now, someone who did not play tonight for the Hawks. I mean, if you look at the roster, the Hawks have a lot of wings that the Kings could badly use, right? Even a guy like Sadiq Bey, could they try and pry a guy like him who, let's be honest, doesn't get a ton of playing time if there aren't injuries? Because DeAndre Hunter is the one that's really playing those minutes. Like, do you go out and try and get a guy like him who needs an opportunity? I mean, 6'8", can shoot a little bit, and this team needs something like that.
No, I really like Sadiq Bey. I think Sadiq would be a fit actually, or whatever. Like you say, he could shoot it. Got good size and everything, and just more so looking for need opportunities. But a player like him,
I mean, he is playing. Jesus Christ, he is playing 32 minutes a night. Excuse me, but he's only shooting 31%, which I think is a career low for him. Because his career is 35, so I'm sure he was shooting a lot better when he was with the Pistons. But yeah, I mean that's a guy who you could go and get. Like, what would it take to get a guy like a Sadiq Bey, in your opinion?
it would be what they want a Kevin Herter back. What they want
The pick.
with picks, but like I said, if they're anything like I think or whatever, like been there, done that, we moved, we let them go for a reason or whatever. But if they figure it was a mistake or whatever, I don't know, man. I don't really. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But like I said, I do like
He's playing a
Sadiq.
lot of minutes. I mean, he's playing 32 minutes a night. He started 30 games out of the 42 games. What I'm interested in now, honestly, is to see what DeAndre Hunter is playing. Did not
Or
play
how many
tonight.
games did he play?
Right. Did not play tonight. Stats. I mean, that's really what I'm interested in, because I'm surprised he's played this many minutes. Minutes played. Yeah, I mean they're playing a big lineup. They got Jalen Johnson, Hunter, and Sadiq Bey. Like, they all play over 30 minutes a night. And Hunter's actually the one that's not playing as much as Sadiq, which again I'm perplexed by it, because Hunter is, I believe he's shooting 40% from three. So how interesting is that? That one guy's playing a little bit more and shooting 30%, other guy's shooting 40%.
Right.
I just think one of these guys have to get traded. Which one will it be? If you had a choice of either Sadiq or Hunter, who would you go with?
I like Hunter. I like Hunter. He's the bigger guy too, I believe, but got a lot of potential. Obviously, can shoot the heck out the ball.
He's on a long-term deal, which he's on. I think he's making 20, which is HB money pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's starting fresh. To your point about been there, done that type of thing, I think HB needs a fresh start. The Kings need a fresh start from him, and DeAndre Hunter to me would be a nice replacement for a guy like HB.
Yeah, I agree. I can't disagree with you on that. Even if I wanted to try, and I like to try to disagree with you guys sometimes, but yeah, I couldn't do it. You nailing it there.
Let me see. I don't want to trade anyone in the starting lineup. Well, that's crazy coming from fans who complain about the others every other night. An interesting name who I love a lot, would solve a lot of issues, is Tyus Jones. How well do you think Tyus would fit with the Kings? And really any team, like the Lakers are looking at him. There's a lot of contenders who are looking at Tyus, because as we saw last few years, I mean, his whole tenure with the Memphis Grizzlies, Jaw's been injured, and he's the guy that kept them together. They're actually better record-wise. Obviously, they're not better without Jaw, but record-wise, I mean, they were better. I don't know if it was a year and a half ago when they were balling it, and he was huge for that team, right?
Yeah. Nah, he's that guy. He's
the best backup in basketball.
Yeah, who doesn't want him? Yeah, as I said, who doesn't want him? Like, he's just solid all around. He's a true point guard. Just runs the team and always make the right play. And that's what you need out of a point guard. So why wouldn't you want him? And that would, I'm assuming the next question would that be an upgrade from Davion? And I would have to say, yeah, that is or whatever. Like, to have a solid backup point guard that could give you good minutes when De'Aaron's out. Probably free up Malik, even though Malik is doing a hell of a job, as a backup point guard or whatever he's playing right now. Because
if you get ties, then that's the perfect moment to actually start Malik.
Yeah.
Now you can start him, right?
Yeah, that's true.
To all the people, to all the naysayers who say, "Well, no, just bring him off the bench. He's a spark plug, right? And he's your backup point. So if you get the best backup point in basketball, there is no excuse not to start him at that point. And to me, even if you do keep Kevin, which I think Kevin would be the guy that would have to go to Washington in a trade for Tyus Jones, although Tyus is also on an expiring deal, so that would be interesting as well too, because you have to have some type of assurance that he re-signs with you, because then if you get rid of Kevin and Tyus doesn't sign, then you're kind of in trouble. Not super trouble, but like you would like that role filled.
Hold on, you said best backup point guard in basketball. Does Chris Paul go in that category?
Nah, that guy is that point god. Like, I don't like. I mean, technically he's a backup now, but I mean he was starting a lot of teams, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. He started on the Wizards. Like if we go down the list of like teams, like he started on the Spurs.
Yeah, he's not a backup.
I mean, on a really good team, he might be. Like, would he be a backup on the Kings? Yes.
Right.
Would he be a backup on the Nuggets? Yes. Would it be question? Would it be a backup on the Clippers? Would you bring him off the bench on the Clippers, or would you start James at 2 and then start Chris Paul with him?
Or go big or small or whatever. Is that small nowadays in the NBA with PG and Kawhi? Because that's it's like the Kings, like Keegan and HB, for the most part. Like you can do that. OKC, you look at OKC, their power forward is Jalen Williams at 6'5", so
Who's really a guard?
he's really like a point guard at that. But he's their power forward.
Basketball.
He's their power forward. Like the OKC Thunder is off topic, but the Oklahoma City Thunder they're exactly what the NBA is trying to be. Positionless basketball.
Right.
All 5 guys can bring the ball up. All 5 guys can shoot. All 5 guys are just skilled. And that's what the rest of the NBA is trying to be. And that's why I think OKC is so good right now.
Yeah. That's funny because they can't beat the Kings. That's the funniest part of all. And I agree, like they're really good, but they just can't beat the Kings or whatever. Just like the Kings can't beat the Pelicans, right? A name that I've loved for a long time, but I understand that availability is the best ability, is Jonathan Isaac, a guy who would just be the ideal fit. One of many guys who would be an ideal fit for the Kings, right? Because they've been looking for that 6'11" power forward who can protect the rim. Well, one time before his injuries was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Now it would be a little bit of a risk to bring him on if you give up some type of an asset. But is that a guy that you're looking at right now, and would that move the needle in your opinion?
He'll be a great fit. He's a guy that I would definitely keep my eye on. Some phone calls wouldn't hurt because you just never know. With people are getting traded away for bags of chips, and the Kings are I like to say they're due for getting some type of luck in the trade market, which they never do really. But who's to say that won't be this year? But nah, he would be a perfect fit. He would be a perfect fit. if you got them in a situation like how the Chris Duarte, thing is going or whatever, like they got Chris Duarte for what, 2 second-round picks or something like that, which is not a
He just
bad
hasn't
deal.
panned out yet, but
Yeah.
like in theory, he was supposed to pan out.
Right, and it's still,
Right.
you don't lose anything or whatever. Like if you start benching them or whatever, like they've been doing lately or whatever, it's not really a big deal. But if you could get Jonathan Isaac for the right amount, that would be probably one of the better moves that we could even think of.
I agree. Now, this is another good one. HB for Quentin Grimes, who I love, and Fournier for the matchup salary. Understanding again that you have to give Grimes a long-term deal, who will probably get paid somewhere in the ballpark of anywhere from 15 to 20 is what he's looking for, according to his agent. So is that a name that gets you excited in terms of a long term? He kind of fits the timeline for the Kings. The guy that can shoot the ball, play some defense. But the Knicks are, to some degree, reluctant to pay these younger guys because they got rid of Emmanuel quickly, who was also going to get paid a lot of money in Toronto. Is that a guy that you go after to fit this quote unquote timeline?
No, I think he's a guy the Knicks would be willing, to move. Like you said, he fits the timeline of, the Kings and what they're doing, and when you look at the team, HB is really the only guy, like, significant piece that isn't in that age group of, the future. He's not a part of the future. He's a part of right now. And if you're trying to, the Kings, if they decided they're going to win right now, then it's different moves that you would go after and try to make. But if you're like thinking 2 to 3 years from now, and getting Grimes, re-signing him, and him hopefully develops into what we think he could be because he's a solid player or whatever.
He's a solid 3-and-D guy.
Yeah,
especially at a young age.
That could be a really, really good move. That could be a really good move.
Now, the last one before I let you go and just end the show. David Martinez says, I tagged Leo in the post yesterday, but what you guys think about Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, who I think both fit in perfectly with the Kings. Obviously, again, 2 other young guys who would be ideal fits. Safer picks in a guy like Jonathan Isaac, who, again, availability is the best ability, right? And, Trey's been injured to some degree. Trey's your guy as well. Would you like, and how much are you willing to give up for a guy like a Herb Jones or a Trey Murphy?
Dude, both of those dudes, man, and not even just because I like Trey, but him and Herb are like, they're, Trey's a shooter, athletic, can defend, long. He's, if you put him in that, same role of Harrison Barnes, he's knocked down from 3, shot 40% last year, and then you got,
He's nice, bro.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. He's developing. His year 3, and then same with Herb.
He can't pay everybody.
Can't pay everybody. Herb was a second rounder, same timeline as Trey. So somebody, like you said, somebody's not going to get paid. So it's going to have to be a move. But Herb is a elite defender, elite, and he can play make. He's his first year or 2 or whatever, his shot struggled a lot, but he's getting better at it. He's confident with at least shooting it, and that's half the battle to me. When this guy's like, we talked about Sabonis earlier, and limitations or whatever. Part of the limitation is just the mindset to not shoot the ball. Right. Like
That's a huge limitation.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. So if you can't make it if you don't shoot it. Herb will shoot it. When I see him missing shots, it's not because I don't want to shoot it. He's just missing it. But if the Kings somehow landed one of those dudes for if it's Harrison Barnes, even if you go the like the Kevin Huerter's route and stuff like that, the one thing you're getting that Huerter or Barnes don't really bring to the table is defense. So it would make a lot of sense.
At worst, like even if they don't shoot the ball well, even if they go through cold spells, at least they'll impact the game on one end of the floor.
Exactly, exactly. So, I would like to see either one of those guys over here.
Well, Mark, any final words? I don't want to kind of spoil anything in terms of I know you and me and our good friend Jeremiah have some stuff planned. But and I don't want to say it yet, but besides that, any final thoughts for tonight? Do you think that the Kings ultimately make a move by the deadline?
I want to say yes, but not a significant one.
Okay.
I want to say yes.
Would
but
Trey Murphy be significant to you?
That'd be significant for sure, because I think it'll be an upgrade.
Yep.
I think it'll be an upgrade. But
Would a Moses Moody be an upgrade?
I actually think that'd be an upgrade as well, because especially you think about how young he is and what he can do, and coming from a championship team and learning from some of the best veterans that in the league, he would fit right in. He's as young as he is, he's a really high IQ guy. He's really smart, and coming with championship experience and being young, I think that'll be pretty dope dynamic, and kind of weird because he's so young. But I think he'll be a really good addition to the Kings if that were to happen. It's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys that when you think about it, it makes sense. But I think the rest of the league know that too. So it's like, are we trying to help the Kings, or do we want? Because right now, if the Kings stay put as is, I believe they'll be pretty much the same team they were last year. 3 to 5 seed. And maybe a first round exit. Getting to the second round would be like amazing.
Yeah.
But as constructed right now, that's where I think they are, and I think a move needs to be made to get over that hump.
Mark Haynes, y'all. Appreciate you, my brother. Lots of exciting news coming. We'll make the announcement soon. We're working behind the scenes on bringing you guys something unique to the city of Sacramento, something unique to the basketball community, and I'm here for it, bro. Appreciate you, Mark. Appreciate everybody who joined the live stream, who will watch it after. Make sure you guys tune in on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. We are there. And again, a huge shout out to Medici Sacramento and Butcher and Barrel, literally right across the Golden One Center. Best pizza in town, Neapolitan style, and the hottest new steakhouse in Sacramento. Butcher and Barrel, we appreciate them supporting the Cowbell Kingdom platforms. On behalf of the entire CK family, thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.